Welcome to another exciting episode of The Dilly Show. I'm Kev, and today we're featuring Miss Ricah, the CEO and founder of Tutoring with Ricah. Right?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, Ricah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm right. You look great.
Thank you very much.
I don't like that. Y'all like that?
Bro, just
I'm listening to myself talking, so it's like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, it's horrible. Anyway, we're gonna do it again. Fair. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Dilly Show. I'm Kev, and today we have Miss Ricah, who is the CEO and founder of Tutoring with Ricah. Is it Tutoring with Ricah?
Yes, it is.
Why I said Ricah's tutoring last time.
No, you did.
Yes, I did.
You
did I not?
No. No.
Tutoring with Ricah. Miss Ricah Neely. Sorry, everyone. Did I hit?
All right, 3 minutes in. Let's go.
I'm not gonna hit this microphone with my chin. That's what I did just now.
Okay.
Is that good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Once we get to this,
everything's run smoothly.
Yeah.
Or just intro the thing.
Hmm?
Say welcome back. Just say welcome back to the Dilly Show. You already know. This is how it goes. Yes, your boy Kev.
It's mad ghetto. It's the Okay, I got you. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Dilly Show. I'm Kev, and today we have Miss Ricah Neely of Tutoring with Ricah. She is the founder, the CEO. Do I call you the principal?
Director.
The director of Ricah's Tutoring. And today she's going to give us a little bit of an insight on what it is that she do on a day-to-day. Ricah, how are you?
I'm awesome. How
are
you?
You look awesome. I'm good.
Thank
good.
You.
This is quite the setup you have here. I haven't probably been in the classroom in like 10 years, at least with the alphabets, and I haven't seen this in a long time. So it feels
inviting.
Yes, it does. It feels homey. Like I only can imagine that this is a homeschool type of vibe that you have going on. Okay, so tell us about that. What it is that you do?
Okay, well, my name is Ricah Neely again.
Right.
Most call me Miss Neely.
Miss Neely.
I've been in the industry from 2016.
Okay.
And we typically tutor students for SATs, PSATs, BJCs, BGCSEs, and then we also do entrance exams, whether it's RBDF or the police force, or even if you want your kids to go into a different high school, we do it all. You do
tutoring for law enforcement as well?
Oh, definitely.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Really? You have to sit an exam.
I'm an officer, but I didn't know that. No, but I didn't know I would have.
Yes, we do entrance exams for the police force and the defense force.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so how long have you been teaching now?
Okay, so The teaching aspect comes necessarily from tutoring. Now, I
Okay.
started tutoring only for money purposes, honestly, because I just graduated and I had all of these, well, not degrees, but BGCSEs and BJCs. And I said, well, I'm really good at it. So while I'm in high school, while I'm at UB, I'm going to tutor. So I only had 2 students, and that was enough.
What were you doing what were you studying at UB? Education?
Marketing and Spanish. A double major with marketing and Spanish.
In UB? Mm-hmm. And so while you were at UB, you were tutoring students at UB? Or
In the cafeteria. It was free. So they came in the cafeteria to me, and then I had one student at NIB. Her name is Sky. She would, I would go to her, and her mom would give me food in return.
You did tutoring for free food?
No, it wasn't free food. She gave me complimentary free food because I was tutoring her daughter.
Oh,
Because
wow.
she run the cafeteria at
At
NIB.
UB?
No, at NIB.
Okay, at NIB. There's a
so-
cafe at NIB.
Yeah.
And you went to NIB to tutor.
Her daughter.
Oh,
so
wow.
because it was complimentary food, I definitely went. And yeah, my special Skylar.
So you tutor all subjects?
Yeah, we tutor all major subjects besides electives. So for like chemistry and physics, we bring on outsourced teachers for those
Okay.
subjects if we do. But
Right.
commerce and office procedures, we don't focus on them. Only the main subjects, math, English, social studies, health science, general science.
So tell us
religious
about the
studies.
success rate.
Oh, well, typically we have an 85% passing rate. The students that
great.
do not pass are typically students that jump on 2 weeks before the exam. We try our best, but some
Is
students.
that a thing? Like they show up late and expect it?
Oh, definitely.
Does it work?
No,
Can you do that?
no.
Can I take an exam?
It depends on the student. Some students
Okay.
are very well advanced, so they're just coming for retention purposes and they just want to see how well they work in a test environment, things of that sort. But for students that are already behind, it's the likelihood of them passing is very low, and we let the parents know this.
Okay.
But they continue tutoring because they say they'll prepare them for the next sitting.
Okay, so the first exam is like a dry run.
Assessment.
Yeah, so they can see where they're at, and then you prepare them for the.
Future.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
We
So,
set goals to meet.
oh yeah,
Definitely. All my students have goals and they have study plans.
how many students do you have?
Well, with tutoring, it's so many students. It depends. Okay, so with my tutoring, we have about 30 students, and then we have 10 Family Island students around.
How does tutoring on the Family Island while being stationed in Nassau work?
Virtual classes.
You do virtual teaching as well?
That's how we teach our Family
Okay.
Islanders.
Now let me throw this out there. Right? We've seen how the virtual platform.
No,
works.
but that's with a group of students. We're only talking about me and one student.
Okay.
And what happens there is all of our sessions are one-on-one. And
Okay.
our students have to get the books from here now. So the parents would get it on the boat or however they set up. They just purchase it from us and the family does the rest. So in the classes, we work from the book. And after the class, they have to send me a photo of their notes. They have to send me a photo of the work that's completed. And they also get grades and tests. So I would know if they're studying at home and if they're actually retaining the information. This is why everyone comes to tutoring with Ricah. We're really
That-
on the student and the parents. So we keep the parents abreast with what's going on, and then we're on our students to make sure that they're completing their work.
Wow. I couldn't plan for that. So the parents are actively involved in this process.
Yes, so we typically have the teachers' numbers, some of our students' teachers' numbers too, so we can keep in contact with the teachers. Sometimes they will say, oh, well, I have a project this week, or we're doing this test next week, just to give the student a heads up. But that's the students that are much slower. We work along with the teachers. But with our parents, we send them a monthly plan. We tell them we're doing this topic on this day, this topic on this day, we're having a test on this day. So all of our parents are very much involved.
This is all from a virtual.
For the virtual, no matter if it's virtual or facility based, if they come to us, we are still the same.
Wow, that is a lot. What are the rates?
So $15 per hour if it's virtual classes, $20 per hour if you come to us here at the facility, and then it's $25 per hour if we come to you in your home. And
Okay.
in your home, it's the minimum of 2 hours, so you can't go lower than 2 hours. More than 2 hours.
I only can imagine some parents are gonna say, "Oh, that's too much money for teaching or tutoring." What is? I think that's pretty good. You
It's
know,
reasonable.
that's That's the best price on the. People are gonna say $15 is too much, $25 is too much, bro. This is your child's education.
Yeah, so if $15 is too much, there are other tutors out there that is affordable for you. But with us, we have affordable plans for our parents. So for instance, if you feel so $15 is a lot, let's look at it like this. If you do 2 hours within the week, but you can't complete much in 2 hours. But if you do 2 hours in 1 week, that's $30. $30 in 1 week. $120 a month for tutoring. And that's 2 days you don't have to worry about doing homework or making sure that your child studies. So that's how I look at it. That's how I basically market it to
I
them.
think parents should look at it like that. Education isn't another bill, although it can be costly at times. Education should be viewed as an investment.
An investment. It's definitely an investment.
You know, I would never complain about the price if it's a good price.
And you see results.
Yeah. So your students, they can be tutored every day.
Definitely. Besides Sundays, that's our Sabbath.
Sunday's the day off.
So
Saturday, y'all.
So Sunday we don't answer messages, no calls. No, Sundays we close.
Don't call them for that.
No, don't call on Sunday.
Okay, I got you. But Saturday, it gives you the opportunity to get your homework done from Monday.
Typically on Saturday we have our boot camp. So that's our BJC boot camp. So our students sign up early. So they start from September preparing for BJC exams for next year, May.
They prepare from September for June. That's what's going on now for BJC and BGCSE. How many students you got doing that?
So in each group we have 5 students. We keep it very small. So in our BJC group we have 5, and our BGCSE group we have 5. So the earlier you sign up, you get your seat reserved. After a certain point, we just start.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the success rate of these students. They learn.
Yeah, it's only 5 students. That's why we keep it small. We keep it small for students who are having a difficulty. They're not afraid to ask questions.
Right.
Neither are they afraid to, get in front of the board and answer the question in front of their peers. So if it's a bigger group, typically you don't know who's in the class or you don't speak to the people in the class. We all know everyone. So we keep it very intimate and
so
personalized.
You intentionally keep it
small, yes.
That's great.
The only way we can keep our rate low, well, not low, but high, 85%. If we bring in everyone, we're not sure we're going to get good results with everyone because some people will not ask questions or they wouldn't understand. So we keep it very small.
I like the homeschool vibe. I always thought that number is personal. It allows you to truly get to know the student beyond homework assignments and what they're battling with in regards to classroom work, but you get to know these children.
Many characters.
I think teachers are more than just, I think you guys are parents. Because the 9 to 3 is a longer time in a way than parents spend with their kids. Y'all raise these kids, My daughter, she was in school for 3 months. From the nursery said, hey, she could come. She was there. And they have her from 7 a.m. until 4. That's a lot of time with a kid. And it's the same way for you. You spend a great amount of time with these kids. And it isn't like a big number. Like government schools. Government high schools. They have like 40 students to one. You went the doors. You should know the big number.
Yeah, big classes to one teacher.
And how does that work out for students actually learning with that big number?
Well, you go through the topics. The system was very simple. They set the topics. If you don't understand, you don't understand. It wasn't much reviewing in a sense.
Right. They were just going through what the lesson
the curriculum is and the lesson plan because they had to meet their goals. So some students didn't understand, some students understood. Luckily for us, it didn't matter. But we understood, but it didn't matter because we already had our BGCSEs.
Right, I got you. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like with a larger number, the student really has to want to learn to push through.
Yeah, and the teachers, they notice. So for instance, they see that you're not interested. They're not interested either.
Right. Yeah. Whereas with tutoring, if you see that because you know the kid, you know that this child isn't interested, this child isn't learning, you can see that from a mile away. And that's why I feel like it's value in tutoring because you get to meet the child more than just from an academic standpoint, although that's your primary objective, do you think you got to be engaged too, bro?
Yep, we're involved in their lives. So we celebrate birthdays with our students.
No
The
way.
students celebrate birthdays with Miss Neely.
For real? How did they you celebrated your birthday this weekend? How did they?
I got birthday wishes.
From your students?
I got shout outs. It was we celebrate life. So it's not all it's not tutoring to me. It's a livelihood. So definitely I get to know my students even after they graduate. I still keep in contact with them. I have a date with one of my students, so we could sit down and catch up. So it's just I keep in contact with them, and their parents still love me. Your parents still call me for food. NIB. She still call me for food.
I think that is what all teachers should aspire to do, though.
Yeah,
Because-
but I think it's motivation. The lack of it. Because teaching isn't, in my sense, because I am the owner, it's beneficial for me. I can see the light, per se. But some teachers, there's a light. I can see it. But some teachers, they can't see the light because they're surrounded by miserable employees or an administration that's currently knocking them down for every innovative idea that they have, or finances because they have to finance their classrooms and air condition. Yeah, and I can see the light and some teachers can't see the light. So this is why I'm passionate. But we do have teachers that shine above the whole disturbance and noise in the market,
Right.
And they shine bright, but it's difficult. It is difficult.
So from Doris Johnson, when can you say that you knew that, hey, I'm going to be a teacher or I'm going to go this route?
In Mexico. When I taught autistic kids in Mexico.
You taught autistic kids in Mexico?
They taught me English and I taught them, they taught me Spanish and I taught them English. And that's where the passion grew because, with autistic kids, you have to be very patient.
But it just got a whole lot. That ain't difficult for y'all to understand, because for me, that freaking me out. Listen, it's an autistic kid. That's number one. The kid doesn't speak English. Do y'all see how this is like double negative in my mind? Like, how does that work?
It's simple. When I went to Mexico, I spoke little Spanish.
Right.
But I thought I was fluent until I reached. And I say, hold on. So the kids don't speak as fast as the adults. So I could understand what they're saying.
Right.
And it caused me to catch on to it a bit quicker than the average student or the average person. So I can learn what I learned there in a book. I had to go and I had to experience it. But I volunteered at the school while in school.
How long were you in Mexico for?
4 months.
You learned to speak fluent Spanish in 4 months?
In 1 month, I was speaking Spanish.
Well, you were studying Spanish at UB.
But like I said, learning it in the book isn't the same as
living there. And
So
that kind of solidified it.
in a month. I was able to understand what they were saying to me, and I could have respond back to them. I stayed with a Spanish family also.
You lived
So
that.
I didn't live on campus. I lived with a Spanish family, so they didn't speak English either. So it forced me to speak
to
Spanish.
sink or swim.
So they didn't. And one lady, she understood English, but because I have an accent, she didn't understand what I was saying. So it forced me to speak Spanish.
Okay, I got you. So you were teaching in Mexico?
Volunteering, because laws. I was volunteering at the school, teaching the students, and I also did the salsa classes and the cooking classes in the night.
You volunteered during the day. What were you studying inside Mexico?
Spanish.
You're studying Spanish, and
So when I didn't have classes, I would be at the school. If I wasn't at the school, I'd be at salsa classes, and that's how I got to mingle amongst everyone and to practice my Spanish.
right, because you're out dancing.
Yeah.
Is that like a big part of their culture, though?
When you go out, of course, I lived on Ciudad del Carmen. It's almost like Paradise Island. Very small island, connected, like how New Providence is connected to Paradise Island. Similarly, same thing. The only difference is no black people. So I was the only black person, and I was the tall girl who everybody saw on the island, and they just was mesmerized.
Everybody knew you?
They didn't know me, but they knew there was a black tall girl on the island.
Okay.
And
Right.
everywhere we went, everyone would just stare. I thought it was uncomfortable. At first, it was very uncomfortable.
That people were staring at you?
Everywhere you go, people stare.
It wasn't like a bad thing, like a bad vibe.
It was
though.
bad. I felt uncomfortable because they would be whispering amongst themselves, and I didn't understand what they were saying.
What were they saying in retrospect?
Oh no, they thought it was a celebrity.
Right. I know that because they don't see much black
Eventually,
people.
eventually thought it was a celebrity, but where I stayed, no black person, no, and it was, and then everyone, they thought I had a shape, so they was mesmerized all in its sense, and I felt uncomfortable, so no. The first month was very uncomfortable, and then I got used to it.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, I got used to it, but the first month it was, I just cried. It's just like, why these people just keep staring at me and looking at me like this?
Everywhere you went?
Even in the butcher shop, the people in the back. My Anna Leah was my roommate. Anna Leah's talking to them, telling them what she wants, but the guy's looking directly at me, and I'm looking at him like, she talking to you. No, so I no, bro, that was serious.
Yeah.
That was serious. That's the time I was uncomfortable because why is this person staring at me?
Well, okay.
There was one time we had a basketball team. I think it was from, I can't remember which country it was from, but it was a basketball team, and I was so happy to see them black people. And they win they win the game too. So people was walking up to me, taking pictures with me, saying, "Congratulations, Felicidades," and I'm like, and I just was posing and I was posing and smiling, and I was so happy to see them.
All right, so let's pivot. After you got a degree in Spanish over there.
No, we got certification in Spanish, so that's the teaching portion.
Over there.
Mm-hmm. So conversational Spanish, intermediate Spanish.
Okay, so you came back to Nassau after that?
Mm-hmm. I came back home. I still had to finish my degree. I didn't finish the degree yet.
So what'd you do after you came back home?
I had to finish the degree. I was at UB. Originally, 2016, I was in UB, and then I went Mexico in 2017, and I still had the degree to finish. I never finished it, so I came back home and I finished the degree.
So after you finished your degree at UB, first of all, how is UB? Let's talk about that. Because I went to UB for like literally one semester. UB, if you could survive at UB,
you could survive
anywhere in the world.
UB
That's
was,
my belief. It's not with that.
UB was discouraging for my major.
For Drew? For Spanish?
Not necessarily Spanish, but the marketing aspect was very discouraging because it wasn't much. They don't offer all the classes every year. Then when they do offer it, they drop the class. And then the professors, my professors were the best, honestly. I didn't have any professors that I didn't like.
For Drew?
I lied one. Everyone failed in that class. I gladly failed the class because I didn't understand what was going on.
You gladly failed the class?
Yeah, I didn't want to drop it. I didn't want to withdraw. So I fought to the end. Still failed. But I fought to the end and it didn't matter. I had to take it again the next year though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, but with UB, I didn't have to pay for anything because I was always on scholarship.
Okay.
Full ride. So besides that one class I had to retake. Yeah.
Did you have to pay for that?
You can't pay. They don't pay for classes that you have to retake, but that's okay.
No hard feelings.
No, I understand.
Okay, I got you. So after you graduated with a Spanish.
Bachelor's degree in marketing and Spanish.
Okay. So what did you get for marketing?
Bachelor's is the double major.
It's a double major, so you got 2 degrees.
Bachelor's degree in marketing and Spanish.
Heavy. That's good. So after you graduated, you're like, you know what? I'm going to teach in Nassau, right?
No, the teaching came before the graduation. I started teaching. Okay, so the pandemic.
What I'm trying to gauge is how we get in this little.
This started. Okay,
how do we get from UB,
the cafeteria, to here, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a process because even after UB, COVID came. Well, 2017 Mexico, and then after that, COVID came. And COVID came as well how we got here because a lot of my tutoring parents, the virtual wasn't working for them. It wasn't working.
Still ain't working.
No, virtual don't work for no one.
Virtual is the toughest. You got to be a real person. You know?
So that's where we started to rent a room at Epworth Hall.
Okay. And
it was one of those big rooms, so it was enough space for everyone. And then it wasn't convenient. No, it wasn't convenient. It wasn't convenient because it wasn't convenient.
Okay.
Because for instance, we would, there was a set time for administration. This is a church hall. It's Epworth Hall.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's Ebenezer Church. So at a certain point, they have to leave. So whenever at 2:00 we had to leave. So you can imagine. 3:00 is the time that we make most of our funds with tutoring. Right. So it was inconvenient. In that sense. Yeah. So we had to look for another space and a bigger space and same price I was paying there anyway. So I saved.
So you went here?
Yeah, I came here. We transitioned in like a day.
A day?
Yeah, one day. I had everything on in a day.
For true? How does...
And then we had because we already had the posters up in Ebenezer, Epicol, we took everything down and came right here and we put everything up, and within a day we were all set up. When I say a day, I had already researched about this property before, but I was holding it off saying, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to transition in December. But the time came and we moved in October.
You kind of forced your hand.
Yep. But
Okay.
we still have a very beautiful relationship with Ebenezer Church, Epicol.
Had to put that in there.
Very beautiful relationship.
I love it.
No.
Okay,
We're not
so
gonna
you've
take this the
been-
wrong way.
You've been here from October
Last year.
2021.
Actually, no, it was October. We've been there for 2 years now.
2 years?
We was here from
2020?
We was only at Ebenezer Church for a few months. It wasn't working. It wasn't helping us.
2020, we were still in the pandemic.
We
My
still
daughter
had
was
fa-
born in October 2020.
We
That was
still had
rough.
we had face to face. So the kids still came in. That's why a lot of parents they didn't want to do virtual.
No. So I did one-on-one.
Yeah, and then the classes were small, so we kept the mask on, the sanitizers and stuff like that. So the parents feel safe and the kids feel safe. So
Wow. That's great. I mean, listen, I don't, let's talk about education in the country. The national average is Z or something. I don't know what it is. What is it?
You said it.
So what? A D plus?
Yeah.
What did it improve to? The national average went up? You would know.
it's a D.
It's still a regular D, not a
it's
D minus, a D
we don't
plus.
do D minus and D plus and PJCs and PGCSEs.
So just D.
Yeah, D's are pass considered by the
Okay.
Ministry of Education.
What do you think is the problem? I don't want to be nice and be like, you know what do you think are the factors that contribute to these kids getting D's? Why they getting D's in school?
There's so many problems. A lot of parents complain about the traditional curriculum that we have, and
Is that something that like an overall?
yeah, overall, all schools basically use the same curriculum besides ABECA and any other curriculum that they use. But most government schools use Ministry of Education syllabus, which is kind of outdated. They don't update it as often. That part, students can't catch up with, new topics. Two, parents, if we're talking about in government schools, a lot of them are not as motivated when it comes to their child's education.
Okay.
So they're not as devoted. They just send their child to school, put them in the best shirts, the clocks, the pants, make sure they look good, the Nike bag, and send them off, but they don't check in with the teachers. They don't know what's going on in school. They don't pop in. The only time they will pop in is when they want to make noise. Some parents, not all. We're speaking for the
Well, I'm a product of the great C.I. Gibson.
great,
I can tell you, I have to say great. It's a formality.
great
But
C.I. Gibson.
is my parents, I live with my grandparents. They dropped out in the 6th grade or something. So for me, I had to want to learn when I went to government school. Like it wasn't something that where the teachers were heavily involved. Like the average teacher that I know, because I have a lot of teachers that are my friends, right? They're not going above and beyond.
No.
They're doing the 8 hours and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. They're not motivated either. So
The teachers aren't motivated as well.
No, the teachers are motivated because, like I said, they're surrounded by either miserable administration
Right.
or, I don't even want to, the place on Tony, the
Yeah, I got
the
you.
place down there, the big building,
Yeah, the big-
across from CDU, that place there. Sometimes there are protocols and things
Right.
that they put in place that are not conducive to the environment that the students are in,
Right.
which therefore discourages the teacher. And some classes, as you can see, no AC. How do you expect
Yeah,
students?
how do
You
you-
know how hot it is?
First
and
of all, we live on
hot.
an island where it's hot
No, it
all
hot.
the time. I've been in those classrooms as a kid. My shirt used to be
Soak.
Because there's the windows, those metal windows, they don't open. The fans,
Don't work.
the whole fan is.
The whole 5 minutes.
I've been in some classes where I was afraid to lose my life because of these ceiling fans, bro. Like the whole blade will carry the fan when it spins. But
That's the great. See, I get it.
oh yeah,
Oh wow.
one of a kind. But it's like, if you did not have the will to learn,
You would learn.
the system, the teachers, the parents didn't push you if you didn't have that in yourself, you wasn't gonna learn. Like out of my 200, like you was talking about this earlier, I had 200 classmates, 40 of them leaving certificate, 15 of them actual diplomas. And that's not just C.I. Gibson.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
You see what I'm saying? And so I'm not reluctant, but I was honored that your mom was like, Kev, my daughter's doing a thing. It's a good thing. And she told me about it. I was like, you know what? This is needed. The national average can be more than a D if everybody isn't doing their part. If teachers are disgruntled, parents just
don't care.
What?
Just get all that money.
They ain't get all that money, bro. They ain't the money. I think they got like $50 out of this.
$50 is a lot.
But you?
$50 is a lot compared to you didn't have to have that $50. That
They
$50
probably still
could go
going.
far.
I know what my teacher friends doing with that $50, bro.
What they doing with that $50?
This is a $50.
I got some PE teachers. That $50 about to buy drinks for the boys. But I think that it is good that you do tutoring. I never had a tutor in my life. I think that I would have been so much further as from an educational standpoint, from an academic standpoint. I didn't start to take school seriously until I went to college and realized that, hey, if I fail this school, if I fail these classes, I'm probably never going to be able to come back to college next semester. I love being away to school. I went off to school. I didn't want to go to UB. But I ended up there because I failed. And they was like, no, we're not spending all this money. But I had a serious incentive to do well in school. I don't think kids nowadays have incentives to do well in school outside of you might make it to college or what.
Well, these kids, some of them ain't been in school for 2 years. I've had a student who...
She said students don't go to school, haven't been to school for 2 years.
Yes.
For you?
Yes.
2 years? Was it all virtual for them for 2 years? For you?
Some students just went back to school in January. Remember, the schools weren't open as yet.
Right.
So most students been out of school for 2 years. Some students said they didn't have Wi-Fi.
They didn't have the tablets or electronics.
Tablets, electronics.
The government didn't provide them with those things, though. No.
But
parents couldn't afford it. No.
So the child wasn't in school. So some students cannot read.
So
but they're in the 4th grade. But you can't read.
You're in the 4th grade and can't read?
Okay.
What are you... I'm not saying that you're supposed to be able to, like, riddle off words.
But how would we help someone who can't read?
Yeah.
We start off small. We start off with phonics. I don't know if you guys can see the phonics.
The phonics corner.
We start off with phonics, diaphragms, things of that sort. Words, sounding out words, word sounds. Right. And then we move up. And what we do, we challenge the student and we give them difficult books to read. So if they can read the difficult book, when it's time to read the simple book, the fluency of it will be better than reading us ABC book. And they're like ABC, but with a difficult book, they understand how to read each letter before you get to the letter.
You sound like you have a system.
Definitely a system. We use it with all of our students to help them read.
A system that works, though. Like, that's genius. You give them hard books so they can read the easy books. I know some people just give you a book and say, finish that.
No, but it's one-on-one, too. So we sit next to them and we help them. So,
you sit with them straight through the entire class?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's what they pay us for.
And then they could go home. Though, because I have some friends, their parents spend a lot of money for them to learn, and they don't learn.
Yeah, every student who walks through these stores are very welcome because they get to meet me. So when they come in, they're like, "Hi, how are you? You good?" Yeah. And then I get to know them. It's like, and the first thing we do is we introduce ourselves. Give me 3 fun facts about you, and I'll give you 3 fun facts about me. And that's how they kind of get them melted in. Yeah, basically an icebreaker. And I'm like, oh, really? And then we kind of relate on certain topics. They say, oh, so most of my students love food. And, you
love food.
Of course. I love food. So we talk about food, and curry's my favorite. And you're like, oh, curry's my favorite too.
Curry's your favorite?
Definitely. What? Why not?
I think I just think you like food. From what I'm getting, a foodie vibe.
How about as a chef?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So
But that's good though.
I was surrounded by food, and Rico, he did a lot. He was just extra when he used to prepare food for us. He used to get the plate and he used to decorate the plate. We used to be mad because we wanted more food. We didn't want no decorated plate on Sunday. No, we would make pretty food and put leaf on top. You don't want no leaf. Don't take that leaf out.
So tell me this, right? What do you think are some of the changes that they can make to help this national average?
More teachers, less students in a classroom.
Hire more.
Hire more teachers. We have a lot of teachers. We also have a lack of teachers, especially on the Family Islands.
We have a lack of teachers?
Yes, some schools do not have. Some schools haven't had teachers for a very long time.
What do you mean haven't had? How do you have a school and not have teachers at the school?
Because some people do not want to be in teaching anymore.
Or
we have a lot of teachers. So whenever you finish your degree and everything of that sort, they sometimes send you on the Family Islands or they send you here. We don't have enough teachers for the schools and the students. As you can see, we're producing a lot of kids. So when you reproduce a lot of kids with the same amount of teachers, it's not enough. And the same facilities. Even with cars, we have a lot of cars on Nassau. That's why we be in traffic for hours coming out from east to the west.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough road. Okay? No road.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I got you.
Similarly, like Freeport. I love Freeport. When you go to Freeport, all you see is road.
Because there ain't much cars.
My point. So if let's just say if we keep reproducing kids, we need more schools. We need more teachers. We need more space. Because if you keep putting them in the same classroom, it's going to be too big to handle for our teachers. That's why they're not motivated.
Do you think more people, like there are people who are interested in being teachers though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Some of my students want to be teachers.
Because you?
No.
Just because they?
No, I am not I wouldn't say I'm not their role model for teaching.
You're the role model.
Well, with teaching, because I make it make sense. I make it make sense for them. But in a sense, I'm referring to some people just want to be teachers, like they're just passionate about kids. So because they love kids, they want to work in somewhere where kids are, so they'll work in teaching. Not necessarily because they know someone who's a teacher and they're really good at it. No.
I do think we need more. I just think
we need a lot more male teachers, and I just feel so we need more motivated teachers, passionate teachers that's going to stick around, because it's difficult. You deal with a lot of emotions. I have a lot of students with attitude, but I have more attitude than them.
You have more attitude than you.
Definitely.
I got you. What do you think the role parents have to play? Because I think everybody's blaming the teachers, bro. If the basketball team fail,
they blame the coach.
Yeah. So if the student get off, blame the teacher.
No, in this case, the parents have to play a role. You cannot expect to send
What role is that though?
Homework, studying, enforcing discipline. If your child isn't doing his homework, with me, if you don't do your homework, if you don't do good on a test, I call your parent. I said, well, he'll be staying with me until 6 o'clock today because he has to redo this test. He'll get 20% off, but he's redoing this test and he's going to study before this. Because if I feel as though he's not getting this discipline home, I'm going to give the discipline. And you know what the parents say? Okay, no problem. I'll see you. Ask him, and then he's like, oh, I know my mommy can make noise. I said, that's fine. She didn't make enough noise in the first place. That's why you didn't finish your homework. I can make the noise. So you sit here. I don't leave until 6 anyway. So while you sit here and study and then redo the test with you, because I don't want my students to fail. And I have this thing, one band, one sound. So if you're in a class.
You have the whole drum line.
One band, one sound. So if we're in a class and we have a test coming up and everyone fails, that's me. I fail as a teacher.
If everybody fails, you fail.
That's me as a teacher.
What if some fail and some pass?
There's no teamwork. That's the whole point. Make a group. That's how I learned in college. That's how I get through college. Same. Make a group. Mm-hmm. Everyone study together. Let's work as a team. If you feel as though if everyone pass, 4 students pass, and 1 student fail, we don't live like that. We work together. At least try. You
really love tutoring.
I love my students. That's not about tutoring. I love my students.
You love what you do.
Why not?
I don't know much people that love what they do. I think people love to be paid.
Oh no, it's not about the money for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people,
Originally, because I didn't have the money.
That's what it's-
I graduated, I didn't have the money, and then I always was independent with my mommy and my daddy. I always worked from 13. I was working.
from
Yeah,
13.
I worked at a photography company.
Don't call it name. Tell me.
No,
Just
I'm not
go on.
gonna
Go
call
on.
a name. No. People who know me know that I
Right.
worked at this company, and that's what gave me the foundation. I still got paid or nothing, no NLB or nothing like that. But I worked and I enjoyed working, and it gave me freedom because I used to go on the bus. And when I
You used to catch the bus?
when I turned 14.
Catch the bus is
No, because it was just 1:15. So my mommy just used to say, and then she used to time me. So if I didn't call at a certain time, she used to call I was just supposed to call the company name. She used to call the company and be like, "Is Ricah to work yet?" I'd be like, "Yeah," but she just walked straight to the back, blah, 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 blah. So she used to check. So it wasn't like they was being irresponsible in itself. It was very close. So I just jump on the bus, go to work, and then she jump on the bus, one bus, and go back home. Until I got older, and then I started exploring.
I don't even want to know. But I got you. I feel like that freedom at that. Some people just put their kids on the bus and whatever happens, roll the dice.
No, but I was always mature, and it was
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was far. I was close, and I was safe.
Okay.
Now, because I was taller, a lot of people thought I was older than my age.
Okay, fair. I
Yeah,
can see.
no.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks because this is the
Very
country that we
uncomfortable.
live.
I didn't like bus drivers.
You gotta edit that part out.
Yeah, no,
Pretty much.
I don't like much.
no, they was strange. Bunch of strange
I got
people.
you. Listen to me. I went to Sarah Gibson. That was like the national thing, dude. Like you, like,
Yeah.
lined off.
When you're on a bus, I don't understand how to sell. Anyway, yeah.
Money, the dollar bills.
No,
the
no,
coins.
I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about individuals attracted to bus drivers. I'm talking about the bus drivers attracted to like school students. Like these children, we like kids.
I'm trying to stay on tutoring.
Yeah,
but we're gonna talk
restrain,
about this.
restrain.
We have like a problem here where there are a lot of predators.
Big predators.
That's what they are. They're predators.
Big, rusty, gray, looking.
And they prey on children, which is why
And you still have to pay the $1. Doing all this talking, you still got to pay the $1. It ain't even free.
But it's like, okay. And that's why that's why I respect you, because you really like what you do.
Love it.
You apparently you go beyond.
Yeah, we
Just
go above and
teaching.
beyond, yeah.
Wait, when I get to school, my parents never gave me a ride to school. But you have some kids.
Really?
No, I catch bus from day one. And whatever happens, happens. You see what I'm saying?
No, we could.
But you have some teachers, if you get on the school compound, you're there, it doesn't matter. If you leave the school compound, it don't matter. Because they don't care if you come or you don't come. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's that window right there where teachers aren't alert or aware of where a student is or who is lingering in the area talking to these students or taking advantage of these. I've seen countless videos, school guys going missing, bus driver. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, if teachers were like the wall to prevent predators from having this opportunity, now you can't be on the bus scaring home.
I was just gonna say, I would expect teachers to stop that.
I don't expect them to do that.
No, but it's the predators.
Yeah, and we need to do something about that, because I mean,
we don't take it seriously in the Bahamas. I know I can recall when I was younger. I'll never forget the bus driver. I given the bus driver my $1, right? I didn't scared to say bus stop. So I say bus stop. And I was in a bus by myself. It was probably because I was going to work early. I want to be on time. Always late though, but I want to be on time. And I give him the $1, and he kind of like rubbed my hand while he took the $1. That was the most uncomfortable. I gone inside work and I was crying.
Would you?
Yes, because I felt like I was violated.
Fair,
I was
fair,
young, and I
fair.
was violated. I felt like I was violated. You could see I was young. Well, I don't know, but it was uncomfortable for me. And I remember telling my daddy, and my daddy's My dad is like, what is bus numbers? What is license plate numbers? You get the license plate number? Yeah, it's like, you get the license plate number. If you see him again, take a picture. I say, okay, Daddy, all
You
right.
want to be on the bus the next morning too?
I didn't catch bus. No, I didn't catch bus for like a week after that, and then I started catching it again. But even working in the shop itself, I had people who came on to me waiting for me to turn 18. The man said, I can't wait till you turn 18. It's me. Oh, they buy him lunch.
This is scary, bro.
Yeah.
But we do have a problem that we need to rectify here. I mean, the laws need to be adjusted as well.
And then, you have some girls who just like older people, and I guess that's what gives them the incentive to come on to people who they. But me, I was innocent. I was, I followed the rules. I never stepped out.
Oh.
Yes, my mommy and my parents all can attest that that was no problem.
Wow, that's great. Very rare, but great.
Yeah, till after 16, but
Right.
yeah.
So, okay, because we strayed far left.
We keep
but that
straying.
is something that we do need to have a conversation about. I think there's so much social ills that we have here in this country that are not just, they ain't swept under the rug because people know this stuff happening and they just overlook it like it isn't happening and pretend it doesn't go on. And I think we do need to dedicate an episode to that. But that's here nor there. We'll get there. But I do think that is something that needs to be addressed here because it's going on right now. While we're shooting this episode, there is some place in there trying to prey on a little girl somewhere.
And it is,
Factual.
and even male students, they get incest, they get rape, they get their.
These are all
yeah,
things
so
like it
it's
isn't just
females,
gender based.
yeah.
No, it's
They
sexual
go through a
assault
lot,
and people
abuse.
Yeah.
They get abused at home. It's a lot. It's a lot. So when you have all of that and you come to school, you're not motivated. And mind you, some students are not the best students, and some students are the best students. For me and my brother, we're not big on school. Actually, we went to school late every day.
We went to school late every day.
We went to watch TV. We watched TV before we watched Charmed. I can tell you Charmed was on 7 to 8 and 8 to 9.
Y'all remember that?
Before Charmed, and we would be up early, We would be
Right.
up from 6 o'clock
That's when
watching
Angel
Saved by the Bell
Oh, wow.
first. We was up. We would be up, and we
Yeah.
still go to school late because we want to sit down and watch TV.
Wow.
And it's not because my parents didn't care. We live in the East, traffic thick. By the time as we reach there, it hot. So
But the East is the worst place to have to come out in the morning to try to get anywhere on this island. But tell me, so can you tell that a child has personal problems at home just by that one-on-one tutor?
No, unless they state it. No, I can't tell.
No?
And I don't judge.
Right.
Yes, I don't come in with a judgmental mindset saying, well, you can see this one is get abused. Like if you look at my little sister, she's very spoiled. And someone who doesn't know her and sees her, carry on, they'll be like, oh, this is a little rude little girl. But she's in rude. She just has a lot of free will. So we don't judge. We don't start off with judgment. We don't start off with a prejudice mindset. We just welcome you in. And if you feel like talking, that's how most of my students confide. They'll be like, oh, well, I experienced this. So I would be more cautious on certain topics when we do stray away from teaching and start talking.
Right, because that does happen in the classroom. But that's good, though. I think it's important that students can trust you. I didn't trust any of my teachers.
No.
Never. I'm not even trying to be in that class that long anyway. I was one of them children with starch-up clothes, clocks,
No, you was one of
empty
them.
backpack.
None in your bag.
I was running from the senior master all through the school, like me and my guys. We wasn't in no class.
I know a person.
Yeah? For you? You was like that?
Yeah, I'm at school with
Yeah, but I think it's important that parents take advantage of what it is that you have going on here.
Yeah,
I think
tutoring.
it's 9 to 3. You tutor every day.
Yeah, we
except
tutor.
Sunday.
Yeah, except Sundays.
You tutor every day except
Not
Sunday.
on Sundays. Not on Sundays.
You
That's
do
my Sabbath.
all of the national exams, SATs, PSATs,
Main ones.
the main ones.
No, that ain't national. SATs and PSATs are international. National
Right.
would be the BJCs, BGCSEs, and CLAT.
And the law enforcement exams.
Uh-huh.
Because that's the
Defense
national job of
force.
the country. is to be an officer.
And we need our officers.
You know what's funny to me? Everybody hate police, and then you look 2 months later,
Officer.
handball, graduated.
They in training.
Yeah, but
Officer.
I didn't even know they did that. I think that's something that parents and people who are interested in being a law enforcement, they should take it. We have a lot of officers that aren't even qualified to be on these jobs. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like, right? Because it's my squaddy. Yeah, that's my squaddy. But what I'm saying is, if you're already on the job and you know you're not qualified to be there,
You should still get tutoring.
get qualified.
Yeah, because you still the right report.
And there's nothing wrong with getting qualified after you've gotten the job. There's nothing wrong with getting a degree later on in life. There's nothing wrong with getting a diploma later on in life. These are things that people. I feel like some people be like, you know what? I already finished with that phase in my life. I don't need it anymore. I shouldn't get it.
And then they settle and then they just...
And they never get it. But there are some people that truly, they never need those things for real. And then there's some of us who actually do need it. Like I work for the government. I work in law enforcement. I need these things. Like, I can't afford to risk not having these things. You know, I'm just floating around hoping they miss me. Like I ain't supposed to be here. They just let me float under the radar. No way. I can't chance that.
No.
And so I encourage all officers, people who don't have BJCs, BGCSEs, you know, if you know you need it, it ain't gonna hate you to have it. It's better to have it and don't need it than to need it and don't have it.
They come to Miss Neely.
Miss Neely get you straight.
Definitely.
All right, so with that, we're gonna end this episode. You have any social media handles where they can find you?
But here's the thing. I know a lot of my students are watching this, and my students love to find me on social media and TikTok.
TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, but it ain't nothing for them. It's for me. Okay.
Your students definitely on TikTok.
No, so my students just come to me and tell me, "Oh, Miss Neely, I see you on TikTok."
Oh yeah.
What you know about TikTok? I am young. What you mean? What I know about TikTok? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to insinuate about me? But on social media, you have Tutoring with Ricah on Instagram, Facebook, and that's how you can reach me. Do not go on my TikTok.
Can they WhatsApp you?
456-5963. That's our WhatsApp line. Everything is basically there. When you go on WhatsApp, we also have our reviews. We have what we offer, our price list, and our catalog section. And you can basically message us anytime besides Sundays, and we will respond back to you.
Right.
And we will send you whatever you want. Don't hesitate to ask. Take your time. You want to call, we can talk, and we go from there.
Wow.
Everything we do is direct deposit. So the first step is to WhatsApp us. We send you a form just to know what's their weakest subject, what's their name, age, so that we can invoice them. We invoice them to their emails. We send them their bill. Everything is bi-weekly or monthly. You can't do weekly. You only can do bi-weekly to make sure that next week your seat is reserved. Because if you do weekly, there's a chance that that time session is gone. So it has to be weekly or monthly. And then payment is required. After you pay, your seat is reserved. And then you meet Miss Neely.
That was good. And with that, we're gonna end this another exciting episode of the Dilly Show. I'm Kev. This is Miss Neely, tutoring with Ricah. She is definitely one of the premier teachers in her field. She loves her students. She loves what she does. Be sure to watch the episode when it premieres. Like, share, follow the Dilly Show on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. Have a great day.